Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Coffee with Tea. I'm your host, the amazing T Street. Today's topic: stay the course even when quitting is easier. Now, I'm going to start this morning with just a couple of stanzas from a poem called Don't Quit by Edgar Guest. It's one of my favorite poems, and I sometimes recite it to myself, y'all, when times are really hard. So I'm going to open today with just a couple of stanzas from Don't Quit. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road that you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh. When care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. That's the first stanza. The last stanza of the poem, there's some other stanzas in between, says, success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the clouds of doubt. And when you never can tell how close you are, it may be near when it seems afar. So stick to the fight when your heart is hit. It's when things seem worse that you must not quit. Y'all, sometimes I have to say that poem to myself. Good morning, Jackie. Good morning, Miss Brown. I have to sometimes quote that poem to myself because there comes a moment in everybody's journey when quitting feels and seems logical. It feels faster, it feels lighter, it feels easier. But ease is not always evidence of wisdom, y'all. Sometimes the very discomfort that you're in is proof that growth is happening. Staying the course isn't about stubbornness. I used to think that's what it was. It's about discernment. The first thing that you have to do if you're going to stay the course, even when quitting is easier, is understand that difficulty does not mean that you're doing whatever you're doing wrong. Difficulty is not necessarily a sign of something being done wrong. When things get hard, our instinct is to assume something is broken, but resistance shows up right before refinement. Right before that change happens is when we see the most resistance. Muscles ache before they strengthen. Diamonds endure pressure before they shine. Vision gets blurry before clarity sets in. If you've ever been to the eye doctor, they put those drops in there so that they could dilate your eyes. And things get a little blurry, but eventually your sight becomes clear. Just because the process is uncomfortable doesn't mean that the purpose of it is absent. Struggle is not a signal to stop. I'm going to look y'all in your eyes. It's often a sign that you're being stretched. If it were easy, it wouldn't be changing you. There it is. If it were easy, you would not be changing. Good morning, Miss Woods. So that's a really good lesson, y'all, because we always want to quit when it get hard. We be like, oh, it's too hard. Number two, quitting solves the pain, but it also cancels the promise. Yeah, you might not be in pain no more if you quit, but you will never reach the part of the promise that was yours. Quitting brings relief, but it also brings regret. It removes the pressure, but it forfeits the payoff. When you quit, you silence growth, you pause progress, you reset the lesson that you were meant to learn. Every unfinished assignment has a way of coming back around. My mama used to be like, you might as well go ahead and just do it right and just finish it because until you learn the lesson, it's going to keep coming back to you. Every unfinished assignment has a way of coming back around. And usually, y'all, when it comes, it's harder the second time around. Stopping can ease whatever your discomfort is today, but it steals tomorrow's reward. Yeah, in your today, it might be easier, but your reward for tomorrow, you're robbed of it. Relief is temporary, but y'all, regret is stubborn and it's sometimes permanent. So, the third thing, staying the course builds what quitting never can. I don't know about y'all, but some seasons are harder to stay the course. But can I tell you, if you just stick with it, some things will grow and will build in you. Endurance doesn't just get you to the finish line, it changes who you are before you ever cross the finish line. The T that I am today, and I'm not at the finish line. Y'all, it's different than the T I was this time last year. Staying the course, it builds character when no one is watching. It builds confidence that cannot be shaken. Ooh, I'm a witness. And it gives you faith in your ability to finish what you start. I never understood that concept. If we did a sport or we did an activity, my mom didn't make us stay for years, but we had to finish whatever the season was. If I played softball, I had to finish that season. I couldn't quit mid-season. My mama made me take dance, and y'all know I can't dance. She said, you cannot quit until you've gone through your first year recital. I went through the recital, y'all. She said I was good, and the next day I quit. But I had to finish the season because anyone can begin and anyone can quit. But finishers are formed. Y'all, we always think that we're gifted. No, I'm not gifted as a speaker because I do have some gifting, but can I tell you, I became a better speaker because in the hard seasons, I still got on stages and I still spoke. I came by today because you don't just reach the goal, you become the person who can handle the struggles, who can handle the hard times. If you're tired, rest, but don't resign, don't quit. If you're discouraged, pause, but don't retreat, don't go backwards. If quitting feels easier, remember, easy has never been the same as right. Easy has never been the same as right. Stay the course, not because it's comfortable, but because you're being built for what's on the other side. What you're walking through is preparing you for what you're walking to. Ooh, I'm going to give that to y'all again because that got good to me. What you're walking through is preparing you for what you're walking to. Somebody needed that word. Good morning, Deaconess Rhonda. Good morning, Alana. Somebody needed that word. So whatever you do today, y'all, stay the course, even when quitting seems easier. Difficulty does not mean you're doing it wrong. Quitting solves the pain, but it cancels the promise. And finally, staying the course builds what quitting never can. Because what you're walking through is preparing you for what you're walking to. I'm the amazing T Street. There's absolutely positively nothing amazing in me. There's not in each and every one of you. Good morning, Brother Kenneth. So today I encourage you to stay the course, even when quitting feels easier. Have an amazing day, y'all.